Hi guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Nancy. It's been a long time since I've posted a video. I think it's going on almost 4 years. Yeah, had a rough time period there that I posted about. Even posted a couple of videos. So yeah, posting again only because look what's back. Just a quick recap. I had vertical sleeve surgery back in 2016. Everything went well. Everything was awesome. 2017, in the fall, started having troubles. Pain, a lot of pain. Found out I had ulcers. So I had to have emergency surgery for the ulcers, and they ended up converting it to a gastric sleeve, which is, whatever. But I had already lost a lot of weight at that time. I was down to 155 pounds. But obviously with the ulcers, and it is a history that does happen. It's well common that after you have either the vertical sleeve or the gastric bypass that you get ulcers. Well, if anything's going to happen, and this is towards me, not just anybody but me, if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen to me, because it's just been my life. It's just me. And yeah, nothing's ever come easy for me, health wise anyways. Yeah, if anything's going to happen, it's always me. I have 2 other siblings. I have an older sister and a younger brother. My sister went and had the surgery done. She's lost weight. She looks phenomenal. It's done her very well. She did it after I did mine, right? Because I was kind of like, oh, let's see how she does with it, right? And even through all the hardships I went through, I wanted to let her know that this isn't a common thing. And even the doctor said, what happened to your sister is not a common thing. I'm just that 1% that it happens to. And of course, like I said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. So, all right, so I'm getting off here. Talk about everybody else. Anyways, so, yeah. So I've been good for the last while. After I had the gastric bypass, they removed more of my stomach, so which made me lose more weight. Had a rough time there. Had to have a feeding tube put in. It was put in through my jejunum, and it gave me some trouble, but in the end, it did the job, and it helped me gain weight that I needed to. I think my lowest weight then was 83 pounds. Yeah, and I'm sitting like on a 5'2". So I'm not tall. I'm small. So yeah, 5'2", and at that time I was 83 pounds. So yeah, had the feeding tube put in. It had a few leaks, blah blah blah, as my other videos will show. So yeah, so I did that, and then about a year ago, I should say, I'm jumping ahead too much. Okay, so back in January 2018, I had the jejunum J-tube removed because I was doing great, awesome. I gained weight. I was up to 125 pounds. It was good. I was keeping my weight. Awesome. Yeah. So I never really got up past 130 pounds, which is good, right? Because you don't want to be too skinny. And then, guess what happened? Ulcers again. And I take medication on a regular basis. Which you have to, or else you'll get ulcers. It's a given. But it didn't matter how much medication I took. You take the pantoprazole, take that. I was at the max, what I could take a day. I was even taking extra, because at that point I didn't care. I was in so much pain. I was, taking more, hoping that it would help. But obviously your body builds up a tolerance to it. It just wasn't doing anything. So again, back to the doctors I go. Yep. Losing weight, lost weight. Now my weight right now is at, I think when I was in August 2022, I went to my surgeon again to tell him. He didn't even have to, I didn't even have to open my mouth. He knew, once he looked right at me, he knew what was wrong. That's what's the good thing about when you go to a regular doctor that knows you. He knows you and knows when you're not well. You don't even have to say anything. He knew. And he's like, oh no. I'm like, yep. So in the hospital I go. So in August, I weighed 93 pounds in 2022, just last year. So I went in the hospital and he put a feeding tube in again into my jejunum, but had a lot of problems. It was leaking, which in my previous videos, I only did 2, but they leak. I don't know what it is. It's my body just rejects everything. So instead of, so I had home care, had the jejunum feeding tube in, and it's leaking. I'm getting home care. Very frustrated because I'm getting infections because of the leaking. And then, silly me, I had nursing care in, and we were doing cleaning, and we snipped, or I say we, it was me. I snipped it because I was cleaning it before my nurse, because I always like to help my nurses. Like I feel bad when they come there to see me and help me. Like, I don't know, all right? I'm an adult. I want to be able to look after myself, right? Because nobody wants to say, hey, I need help. And me, I'm too proud to ask for help. But that's what they're there for. They're there to help me. But on that particular day, because I had leaked so much, I couldn't wait for my nurse to come to do my changes. So I did it myself, and then stupid me, the tape that I was using was stuck to my one stitch. And silly me, I thought I had enough clearance. So when I snipped it, I snipped the tube, which it was enough. It was a significant snip that it released the air out of the balloon that was in my feeding tube at the end in my jejunum. So, yeah, I guess you can tell what happened. It came right out. My nurse came, and I was telling her what happened, and I was showing her, and she was like, oh no. So she went to clean it, and it came right out. Just easy peasy, just, oh no. And then everything else started coming out afterwards, and I don't need to tell you what that was because I think you have an idea. Yeah, so that was not pretty. But the thing is, this happened Thanksgiving long weekend. And it was a Friday. So nobody could do anything until after the holiday. So, yep. So I had to deal with this whole leaking thing. Again, it's me. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. So yeah. So that was back in October. Yeah. So by the time I was able to get back to the doctor and get in, because my surgeon, who originally put it in, he couldn't see me. He was trying to fit me in everywhere to put me back in the OR to put it back in. Just couldn't happen. And by this time, I was really bad. Like I think I was down 80 pounds. 80 pounds. So next best thing is, and they discussed it between themselves. I'm not healthy enough to go through another surgery. I'm just not stable. I'm like 80 pounds, very weak, can't do anything. Yeah, it's horrible. I had to give up working. It's horrible. And having to have a lot of help. Not just physically, but financially, it's been hard, very hard. And I'm not one to ask for help. And it kills me to ask for help. Especially when I'm a grown-ass woman. Right? I make my own money. I pay my own bills. Right? That way, I have no one to thank but myself for working hard to get what I got. But, yeah. So, you know what? My family and my boyfriend's family have been, phenomenal. They help me as much as they can. again, me being the proud person, I don't like asking for help. And I wouldn't ask them unless I absolutely needed it. So, yep. Anyway, so what happened was back in November, I had it put through just through my nasal. Because with me having so many problems with the last feeding tube and then it coming out and infections, this was the only option for me. If not, my doctor said, you know what, I don't know how long you'll live if you don't get this in, because my muscles are now wasting. I have no muscle. My muscle tone is literally gone. I have no muscle tone, and I have chicken legs. You know what chicken legs look like? I've never had I've always been a thick-thighed woman. Like, I'm not, when I lost my weight, yeah, but I've always been hippie, like in my thigh area. That's all gone. All gone. Like, I can literally put my hands together and that would fit around my leg, top of my leg. And that's just, to me, it was just like, And my man, he likes a good ass, right? Yeah, he's a boob man, but he likes a nice ass. And I had one. So, yeah. And as a woman, it wrecks me because I don't feel that I am good enough now for him. I'm not desirable. Like, I won't even look at myself in the mirror. That's how disgusted I am with myself. I don't recognize the person that I'm looking at in the mirror. Don't recognize myself. And it's horrifying. Horrifying. It's horrifying. I have no other words. Horrifying. And my boyfriend, you know, we've always been very physical and active, you know. We have no problem sexually between us both. We have this connection like I've never had with, you know what I mean? And it's a genuine love, and we have that connection. And we always say, if you're not good up there, you're not going to be good down there. And it's so true. And we always say that to each other. We'll go back and forth. Say, remember, honey, if you're not good up there, you're not going to be good down there. So, I am driving right now still. So, don't mind me. Got to check my ways. Pay attention. So, yeah. About that. And it's just, I don't feel like I'm a desirable. Like, I get, like, literally grossed out by looking at myself now. Yeah. From being an obese woman, my highest weight was like almost 265, 270. And now I'm down to what? At that point, I was like 80 pounds. Now I'm struggling to get to 84. And so that's a drastic loss. Like I said, I don't recognize the person in the mirror that I am. So I turn myself off to everything. I don't feel, you know, that connection that with my body. Like, I used to be so confident. Now I'm disgusted with myself, and I hate it because it affects your relationships or relationship with my boyfriend. Like, now my granddaughter says, "Grandma, you're old and you have wrinkly skin." I'm like, yes. Thank you, honey. Thank you for reminding Grandma. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be 52 in April. Right now, I look like I'm probably in my 60s. Although people say, "Oh, no, you don't. You look great. You look great." No, I know they're just saying that to make me feel better about myself. So, yeah. It's just hard. Very, very, very hard right now. Very hard. But anyways, I gotta go in here and get some groceries. It's supposed to drop down to be really cold here. So, that's what I'm gonna do. So, I will check back in a few. Bye.